Okay, I think we can slowly start this opening panel. So welcome everybody to this opening panel of the 6th edition of the Showcase Festival and Conference MENT Ljubljana. I know that you are all of you waiting for 7 p.m. when a huge party will start out upstairs, but till then we will have some boring discussion on boring topic, and this topic is called attention. Here comes Hemi. We wanted to make it like, you know, like when the UFO is coming and everybody's like that, what the fuck is this now? So we wanted to put it like, okay, Hemi as something like an UFO. Something like something is coming on the planet Earth, and we are really curious about what that is and what is the purpose, the objection of this. So at the beginning, I have to say I have 4 really wonderful people here. We spent the whole week, actually last week in Athens, working on not just what we're gonna discuss today, more things of course, but we really had good times, and I have to say thank you guys to be here in Ljubljana, and thank you to have a chance to promote Hemi for the first time here in Ljubljana, which is my hometown. Thanks guys. So we will start with a short introduction of ourselves. I will be the first because I would like to give an example what short means. So I'm Baroš, I'm from Ljubljana. I work for Slovenian Music Information Center, which is proud partner of Hemi. And as Music Information Center, which is quite old-fashioned form of organization, which was much more useful, let's say 20 years ago, when the time of internet was not that much popular like today it is. And now we are challenging the fact that we need to transform ourselves, to upgrade ourselves to something like we usually call music export office. So yeah, this is from my side. Maja, please.
Okay. So hello, my name is Maja Łapuszyńska and I'm from Krakow, Poland. Now I'm working for the Krakow Festival office, which is an institution which organizes around 5 to 7 festivals per year for different genres of music, not only the showcases, but also the early music days, the classical, and a lot of different stuff. I'm also working as a production for the other festivals in Poland, such as Off Festival, opener festivals for Orange Warsaw festivals, and so many different, like a Snowfest festival, for example. So there's a lot of stuff to go on. And I will pass it to Marton. Or Jordan. Gorjana, maybe? Yeah, okay, sorry.
Okay, girls first. Hi, my name is Gorjana.
No, it was not girl first, it was me.
Okay, I'm sorry. So, I'm Gorjana, I'm coming from Macedonia, from Skopje, and I'm working the past 2 years for Password Production, which is a music production company, and mainly it's responsible for creating the biggest music and creative festivals in our country, which are the Festival, Taxirat Festival, and the Pin Music Conference. So I've been working on creative programming and production in all of them, and basically also Password is working as a booking agency, as a touring agency, and works with artist development too. So basically we are working a lot and many different things. So now,
Okay. Hello everyone, it's really great to be here, and it is an honor to come back to MENT. Well, long story short,
You cannot. I know that you cannot make short. So.
No. I'm the Hungarian minority from Žižkov district of Prague. I used to work for the Hungarian Music Export Office quite long time ago, and at other organizations, and then I moved to Prague, and I'm the head of SoundCzech, which is the Czech Music Export Office. We have lots of programs. Some you will see tomorrow, the reception at 12 o'clock, sorry, the teaser. And I'm also the director of Nouvelle Prague Conference and Showcase Festival.
and you are a partner in Jump Music Market Accelerator.
Yes, but I would not like to confuse totally everyone at this point.
Okay, hi everyone again, I'm George, I'm half French, half Greek. You could say a French immigrant in South, which is quite rare. I'm the coordinator and the national founder of the Music Day Network, which is a network of 55 cities in Greece, mostly based on putting grassroots talents and emerging artists close to the audience. I'm also in charge with many of us here of the International Association, which in Slovenia is Praznik Glasbe, in Poland it's Vianki, in Hungary it's Zene Unepe, in Greece it's Jortis Muskis, in France it's Fête de la Musique. I'm also the founder and curator of the Athens Music Week, a brand new, let's say, something in between a music week and a showcase conference. And that's it more or less. And I'm here today very happy as well because we've been, many of us, many times in Ljubljana. First time for me in MENT. I think it's great already, perfect size, perfect geographic focus, which is something important for us. And I'm here as Hemi project coordinator. So we'll speak about this UFO, sorry.
Thank you, guys. So now the main question, actually. What the hell Hemi is? I think people are wondering about that a lot. And maybe you, George, as a supreme mastermind of this idea, Hemi, can give us a really proper explanation about that.
Well, I thought about it since the discussion we had a few minutes ago. Well, I think the context is great. We all are friends here for years. Many of you are friends for years, and well, we realized after losing so much money, friends, girlfriends, usually divorce, blah, 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 parents saying you should change work, etc. We realized we were meeting every year for years, and usually we were meeting to go to overseas, go to France, go to UK, to go to Glastonbury, go to Ripperband to meet them, which is great. Honestly, it's nice. But how come we never meet within our countries? Okay, with exceptions, MENT, etc., etc. But I mean, in general, what is the problem? So we realize that the problem is just historical. I mean, we have countries which are not so much developed, let's say, which is okay, let's go over it. And what is missing? Well, everything. We have the professionals, we have the sound, we have many musicians, but we don't have structures from our states. We have geographical, try to make touring showcase from Greece or to Cyprus by boat to go over Europe, or from Estonia, you know what I mean, where you are like Marton's countries, you can go everywhere. But anyway, so we realized all those differences, and there's this PIN conference where we were 2 years ago, all of us, Creative Europe. Are we eligible? Wow, it's for big countries. Anyway, we took the challenge and we said, okay, there's a difference. CSEE countries, we said, could be countries which have more or less the same needs at the moment. And let's make simply a focus on everything that is happening elsewhere in Europe. So many good events, efforts from Europe, Live Europe, ME, Ines, Jump, so many programs which usually do not have countries from our countries. They don't have partners from our countries. Not because the other ones don't want us, because usually we're not strong enough financially, etc., to do it. So Hemi is here. We found the idea of trying to make not an horizontal network, and I think, well, most of all those topics will be tackled later, but Hemi means hub for the exchange of music innovation, which in English is not really proper. But we checked on Google, we wanted to find something for an acronym, we didn't want to have Europe inside. Again, we love Europe, but no offense, And Hemi was born. Hemi as a hemisphere, Hemi as in Greek we say Hemi is the half, means hemisphere, Hemi. And when you have half an idea, you already have an idea. Then we found that it's a motor engine from Ford. And a friend from Macedonia said, that's what we need a motor. Okay. So Hemi, the acronym, and 9 countries, 10 partners, which is pretty crazy for a European project. Usually you go with 5, 6. And very ambitious. Is it okay for an intro?
Of course not. We would like to hear something more. I think this is a time, or maybe we can move forward and get it back on the third, let's call it third part of our discussion. Okay, good for now. So when I was thinking about Hemi and when I was thinking about all those initiatives, made by European Commissions, Commission that I'm sure that you all of you, I'm sure you have heard about Music Moves Europe and all this stuff, which will probably bring quite a lot of new money in the European music market. And I was wondering, okay, that's cool, but will this money go to the countries which already have the money, or they will actually deal with countries which are probably not at the same level of development of music market, of development of the educational level of musicians and music professionals. You know, very simple it is. When you have data, then you actually have very good opportunity to speak with policymakers. When you don't have data, you have a problem. And this is kind of problem that we in Slovenia have. So the next part of this discussion should be a little bit more countries. So some details about countries that we are coming from. And we are representing very huge territory of Europe. We have Greece, we have Macedonia, Macedonia. We have Hungary and Czech Republic, we have huge Poland, and we have one small Slovenia. And when I'm thinking about Slovenia, I can tell you I live in a country with actually no vision. I can't remember when was the last time that our government stood for the whole circle of 4 years. I really cannot remember that. I can name only 3 persons that were important in developing, let's say, the public goods in this territory. And first one was Napoleon, do you remember? Short guy from France. The second one was Maria Theresia from Habsburg monarchy. And the third one was mighty Tito, the leader of Yugoslavia. And after that, I don't know. I cannot name a person with some vision, with some ambition, with some clear big picture where we would like to move. So that's why I'm really happy that something like Hemi came. Really? Yeah, a big thing for me, really big one. And I would like to know something about, we would like to know something about why, before we start to think about why we need Hemi, I would like to ask you a couple of questions regarding situations in your countries. For example, you, Gorjana, you're coming from a land of eternal sunshine, as you call it, from a land with beautiful girls, land with amazing food, amazing, excellent rakia. But on the other side, maybe the political, I'm talking about culture, I'm talking about music, because this is our topic. Can you say something about that?
Yes, and you forgot big mountains. So that's why we are a bit...
You have mountains, really?
Yes.
But no skier in the World Cup, right?
No.
Ah, that's why I forgot.
Yeah.
Just freestylers.
So the question...
Yeah, tell us something about Macedonia. Tell us something, what is Password doing there? What kind of obstacles are you facing? What kind of issues? Tell us something about it.
Yeah, so basically Password is a private company, which means that it's self-financed, because most of the institutional calls that are on a yearly basis are few, and they are also supplying up to 1,000 applications. So that's how the politics works. And they don't choose, for example, maybe few big and good projects. They need to supply all of them with smaller amounts. So what we get, it's nothing compared to the expenses that we have in creating big festivals such as the festival. And that's why we are having this hardship in financing, but from institutions. And the way we should do it, it's like we collaborate with a lot of embassies. We are also applying on yearly EU calls. So that's why for us it's very important that Creative Europe actually wants to fund and wants to invest in the Balkan region and not only in the whole of Europe, because that's pointless. I mean, it's not pointless, it's much more needed here so we can get developed. What we are doing, first of all, it's not mainly commercial. I mean, of course, we want to do commercial things because those things earn money, but our main goal and vision and idea is to educate. Because if we educate people, if we give them opportunity to hear and to understand culture more deeply, then we can grow generations that are that have that seed in them, and then they can also bring change in the future, and they can understand that that's important, and they can work in that sector, and that's how we can grow the sector. So today we are working towards that. Most of our events are very, very cheap. So I think we have the most cheap ticket for festival in the whole Europe for 3 days.
Go there.
Yeah, for 3 days festival with a camp, our ticket was 10 euros for 9 years. Since last year we changed it to 15 euros because we are afraid that people won't come if we put ticket of 30 euros. So we are afraid, we just don't do that. Because we want everybody to come and everybody to feel that freedom of music festival and to be fed with that art, you know? And that's why we keep it low. And people come. We see growth in numbers, and we are quite satisfied with that. So basically we are not working in order to earn big amounts of money. We have other resources in doing that, like bookings and renting ourselves as production company. But the art that we are doing, mainly we are doing so we can educate and bring people together.
And not just this, actually, your PIN conference, which is something similar like MENT, for example, you have no tickets for conference part, right? Or a festival at all, I don't know. Explain us to that.
Well, we started PIN also because of that, so we can show the audience there that there is something like a showcase, that there is something like fresh and new music, not only commercial music, and we wanted to bring more and more young people to also be educated in the music, in the art of music business, so they can understand that there is also music production, there is also branches of that, like booking and all of that, so we can interest people to be more involved. And yes, PIN, basically it's free, everybody can come, everybody can listen to the conference, everybody can see the showcase, so we attract thousands of young people during the night for the concerts, and we are still struggling to bring them also to the day conference, but we are getting there.
From my perspective, because I'm really crazy about PIN conference, and I go there for 5 years now every year, and I see that the amount of local musicians on the conference part of your program is growing. The number is growing. I think I have a feeling that every year there are more people who join the conference program. So
yeah.
they want to be educated, they want to meet somebody new.
Yeah, because throughout the year we also work with them, so throughout the year we also promote the event, and we also bring all of those people that are interested to our offices, so we explain to them what's the point. We pick like artists that are really talented, that they want to work in the future, and we also explain them about that it's very important to network, to come, and to be a bit outside, and we try to like bridge those barriers, those borders, because people are a bit scared of going outside of Macedonia because it has big mountains and it's hard to pass.
And that's skiers.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you, Gorjana. Now you said ladies first, so I think we can continue with Maja now. Well, Maja, you're coming from Krakow. You are part of Krakowskie Biuro Festiwalowe, is that correct? So my
correct.
Polish is
Wow,
good?
perfect.
I'm good in Polish,
yes,
right?
I'm impressed.
Okay, thank you. So I was really fascinated by the fact, actually I realized how big Poland is when I found out that you have an official public organization like Bureau of Festivals.
Yes. So
Which is, sorry, just to finish it, I would like to make some point, because in Slovenia we have no kind of associations, no association, formal, informal, between, let's say, music producers, let's say, labels. I mean, we have some of them, but I am afraid that they are not really workable and active ones. So yeah, that's why I'm so interesting. How come that we are not talking now about Krakow? We don't talk about Polish Biuro festivals. We are talking about Krakow ones. So explain us this huge thing of Polish.
So this is a big difference. So Krakow was the capital of Poland, and I may say freely that it's one of the main growing capital of culture in our country. And our office is founded by the city council. So we're working closely with the city of Krakow, but we are not a part of the city of Krakow. So we're an independent organization which is focusing mostly on the cultural goals for the city and for the region of Małopolska, and we're working closely together with Katowice, which is the city next to our Krakow. And I think what we're doing really great over there is we're trying to establish the local community, we're trying to help local roots, or local bands, local education system in the music parts. And what we're trying also to do is combine the DIU movement from, such as Tak Brzmi Miasto, which is another partner of Hemi, to grow and to develop. And by this fact, we also created, together with the 5 different cities in Poland, incubator for grassroots bands that was a week of workshops in 5 different cities in Poland. There was Łódź, there was Warsaw, as far as I remember, and many more involved in it. And the bands from the specific cities can go to the 5 different workshops team, and it was founded by city council also in every single city. So I think like this idea of helping the music sector in Poland is still growing, but we're not yet there when we're supposed to be.
Yeah, so can you mention some issues? We are talking all about the bad part, so is there anything that you see as...
Yes, so of course there is. If you're speaking about Krakow, we are such a huge organization that a lot of smaller festivals and a lot of smaller organizers from the music sector is complaining that we're a monopoly for the region, which might be true, but in fact we're doing our best to be a platform for sharing, for networking, for cooperation between the festivals, to cooperation between different branches, to cooperate between music and the film, and between literature. So we are spending public money, which is really hard to do. And if any of you ever have a chance to work with the public funds, know how hard it is to go with the grants, and we're living it on a daily basis. So our world is mostly bureaucracy, but we're doing our best to support the young bands and the music roots from the region.
Thank you. Well, Marton, now it's your turn. In fact, you reminded me, let me start first, please. You reminded me, do not speak like we are coming from underdeveloped countries, because we are, at the moment, we are trying to boost something which has already been done. Well, I'm still thinking that I'm coming from underdeveloped country, sorry. But I would like to hear your position now, because let me make more precise question. You was part of the team who established the music expert office in Budapest. Then it collapsed. Then you moved to Czech Republic and make this story again. So it's very interesting to me, how did you or do you deal with policy makers and other stakeholders, how they understand the idea that something like this is necessary?
But we are speaking about 2 different countries in 2 different ages, so...
Yeah, but it's true.
But
anyway, you're experienced. You can make something out.
Okay. I will make something out.
I hope.
Okay. 2004, so actually, it's a really long story, and I try to...
Okay, maybe you can focus on Czech Republic now.
Try to make it like smaller. like shorter. The most important difference in between what happened actually 15 years ago in Hungary, and that's pretty much the same, what I think that must have been in Czech Republic as well, is that the music sector, we can call it industry, I don't want to offend anyone because we have also this discussion if it's art or if it's business and so on. But however, it was not at the level as it is now, meaning that export offices are usually working with a sector that has backing, meaning that you already have professionals, you have musicians, you have many things already there. But in these countries, it wasn't. So that means that 15 years ago in Hungary, actually, we had to face that slowly. So when we started, it was more about the different aspects of music export. One is the more soft policy aspect, when you're going to different events and wave the flag and show that, oh yes, we have this, not just the politicians. So that's more for the foreign ministries and so on. And the other aspect, which is the most important, what actually moves me personally as well, is to create a system that can provide the people from the music sector, let's be it from musicians to technicians to the professionals, so on, a sustainable living. How do you do that? Is that you have education, you create basically professions and so on. So when I'm getting back to the music export, the export originally, it does when it was started in many of the so-called developed countries, it helped actually the businesses to connect and to develop much more and to gain recognition and also finances for the countries and also connect, of course, the countries. That's one thing. But it was then, but now we are doing the both. So we are educating as well. So we have different workshops. We work on to structurize the Czech system, the Czech music sector, to help. We are not doing it, but we are trying to nurture it, to have associations for festivals, associations for help to work with musicians, association for clubs and so on, because those are the engine. And then I go back to this comment what I had actually about we were running around to different events for ages, and that's why I'm telling to change the story, because 15 years ago the story was like, oh yeah, here we are from Eastern Europe, you know, and everyone looked at us like, oh yeah, come on, you're still working at the field somewhere, so okay, go home, then you know, you're not at our level. But that was absolutely different story, so absolutely please forget it. We have clubs in all of these countries, has really good clubs, has also managements and so on. Not already at that level. The meaning is to forget the story and start standing on a much more solid ground and use this collaboration we are about to speak, Hemi, to boost it, to help, to connect ourselves. And yeah, basically that was, I hope I could answer the question. I shoot several in the air.
Did you get something? Did you get it? I think we do. Thanks. Thanks, Marton. Almighty George. Well, I don't know if I can say that, but for me you're quite pretty big animal regarding clubbing, Brussels, Creative Europe. You know the guys, you know the people, and you know the associations. And can you, and you're in the, I wanted to say funny fact, well somehow it's funny, you're half French, right? Which is not really funny, but because you don't know the story behind about, can you tell us what that means being a big Western music market, how that looks like?
Well, it's what we all understand here at this table, that you can be complex about it, you can be sad about it, you can compare it, you can do the man's game, you know, on the table. Fact is, when you sell carpets, when you buy something, if there is quantity, you have best prices, and everybody knows that. So, except for all the historical reasons, the colony countries like France, you know, we say in France that England left something at least in the colonies. Okay, so don't have to say anything else. Also, I have some Moroccan blood because my grandma was from Morocco. So my grandfather married an indigene, as we used to call Moroccan people not so long ago in France. So yes, and being from France and Greece helped me to understand that complex thing. My mother was saying, yeah, the Occidentals, you are American bastards. My father was saying, yeah, you Greek schmucks, you were with the donkeys 5 years ago and now you are in Santorini. Okay. And now, except for all that, there are mentalities. We had Turks for 400 years, we had Ottomans, we had French, had Swedish, had public schools in 1500. Okay, we have 3,000 civilization, but it's 3,000 years we fight with each other. French fight with the other countries, not within. So anyway, so it's terms of percentage. So one other thing, let's say, to add to Marton, that I realized also very soon, because Greece is not a big country. It was very ill, as you all know, recently. Still is, but it's much better. Now we are just Europeans like everyone. We have 20% poor people, normal. 30% average, normal. And 10% that have everything. Anyway, the thing is, there are no structures. It's not only if we have clubs or not. Yes, we have the professionals, all of us, but we don't have associations. You said about that at the beginning. France, maybe some of you know, when there was that big American, European huge contract that they wanted to sign, the commercial contract, I don't remember the name. It's not so long ago. So everything was okay before Trump, it was with Obama. The only country saying, okay on everything, but not on culture. Culture, you don't tell us what to do. Culture, we want to finance culture. So it happened suddenly for me to understand that when France did, for example, Праздник Glazbe, Fête de la Musique, which, if you don't know, it's 20,000 free concerts in the city, everyone, blah, 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 for 30 years. What was behind it explains how these countries worked, and it's not wrong or bad, it's cool. They say, okay, we want to have the French baguette, we want people to know France, so how do we do this? Culture. Culture is one way. Do we do it for free? No, we get money back. How do we get money back? Well, we don't have to sell enough French-speaking music, so we can be a country to host foreigners. So they brought Cesare Evora, Rashida, Marcus Miller. I can tell you hundreds of names which are not French, but it's French products. So it goes to SACEM, etc., etc. They have ministries for that, they have a policy for that, etc., etc., etc. So that's the main difference. And there are 70 million almost in France, and when you have France, you have the French-speaking countries, so it's another 5 million from Belgians, and it's another 3 million from Switzers, it's Quebec, then the next big continent is Africa, half of it speaks French, so that's policy. And then you have Greece, which, you know, yes, we were with the donkeys 50 years ago, so we also have another problem, like many countries in this area of the Balkans, we have music industry. And what is music industry, dude? Is it English speaking? No, we have turbo folk. We have our own music. And we laugh about them, but they sell to Romania, they sell to Israel, they sell to Lebanon. So when we do our own kind of conferences as well, education, I would say training for us, because education is even... So yes, it's not comparable, but it's okay, that's the way it is. And at the end, if we want to understand how to change something, we know we don't have the capital, we don't have the structure. So what we try is to do what we do and what many of you did, to be at least 2 or 3 together and to try to do some things, because we also have in Greece the geographical problem. I mean, to go from Athens to Thessaloniki is 600 kilometers, and the gas price in Greece with the crisis, I mean, it's cheaper to go to Milano than to go to Thessaloniki. Did I answer the question?
I think you did.
Okay.
Thank you. So the point of this part of conversation was actually, I hope that you realize it, I did, because you know, when I'm complaining about all the situations and troubles in my own country to somebody from abroad, then he actually looks at me and says, come on man, it's the same everywhere, we have the same problems everywhere. Also the Western countries have a lot of similar things. Maybe on the higher level, bigger numbers, but anyway, I think yeah, of course.
Well, I just want to say that they have another competition. We have competition because they have competition because there's more competition, and yes, they have also other problems, different, but at the end it's the same, in fact.
So, actually the last part of our conversation before we turn to you, and you can slowly start to prepare your questions and comments. They are very welcome. When I was thinking about Hemi, I mean, if I were you sitting there and thinking about Hemi, another one network, another one European money-sucking project which will do something specific and then just disappear or whatever. We are actually thinking about something else, right? You actually mentioned that, but you know, when I started to realize, okay, I'm work for Music Information Center. I'm in the board of IAMIC, the Worldwide Association of Music Information Centers. Maja, we don't need to even mention that she is working for collaborating thing. Marton is part, also the board member of EMEE, the Association of Music Expert Offices. Ping Conference is, for example, member of INES Network. George is doing European Music Day. Maja did it, I do it, does it, sorry, I do that. So we are all together, and other members also. We are already playing, let's say, important part in different networks. And as I see, Hemi is something which can horizontally collaborate with many of them. And now this is some kind of open discussion between us, what Hemi can do. Who will start?
We play the game. We play the game you taught us to say? Okay. So, yes, let's go a bit more concrete. The aim was a bit, I think, now to show you that there's no complex to have, there are difficulties to face, there are solutions, and we hope all together that Hemi will bring another one, and it will lead also and will pave the way so that other organizations do it as well, do projects with the EU. Let's hope the EU will continue and increase those budgets. But concretely, so yes, there are many, many nice European projects happening in most of the EU countries, between Estonia until Greece. At the moment, we have, we told you, Estonia, or the partner is Music Estonia. Many of you knows them, I guess, and they work with Tallinn Music Week. You go south, we have two partners in Krakow, the 2IY, as Maja was saying, which, again, as Marton and Gorjana were saying, we invite you all, and that's the idea, to many showcase conferences, to go and meet friends in the other side of Europe, slowly, slowly. So Hemi thought about, okay, let's focus on some things. We cannot focus on everything. It's a 4 million grant, 2 million grant, and 2 million that all the partners are putting together. The idea was a cluster. We all spoke about the sector, so we didn't want to do one horizontal network of festivals or of venues or of showcase festivals. We thought if we want to help professionals, if we want to bridge venues between our countries, what do we actually aim to do? Well, the wish is that we will pave the way so that we create a market for our markets within our market. First part. When this is done, which will take some time, obviously, in the meantime, we all are connected, as all of you, with Occidental, sorry, Western with us, yes. We are all connected with Occidental Europe, so if we manage to do a brand, a trademark of our countries, we will also do a win-win partnership and collaborate with others. How do we do that? Well, we thought that Marton could speak about one of the aspects of the project, one of the deliverables, as the European Union is saying, one of the activities Hemi will do for 4 years, which under the name Incubator, will tackle a few things about professionals of the music industry mainly, and which segments, Marton?
Okay. Yes. I will go from a different direction, but I get back exactly to this.
Guys,
also,
I'll give you 2 minutes for this.
Okay, also to add that on behalf of Nouvelle Prague, because I'm as the conference director there, we are also part of INES, just to add as a viewpoint. The other, as a viewpoint of showcase conferences, when you're doing conference or showcase festival, what is the goal, why are you doing it? And then I'm going back to the incubation. I see it at many conferences that the best conference, how I imagine actually, of course you imagine your own, is that to be a really effective connecting point on different level, meaning people coming there to make connections, make businesses, find bands, book bands, A&Rs and so on. So from that example I can basically draft what I can imagine as of an incubator, because we would like to see labels that are picking up bands from our showcase festivals. We would like to see and not that many labels are there because in the region there are not that many at that level, so they really need the help. We would need to have managements that are going there, not that many managements. I can actually go through on these examples. What we see, there are more and more musicians coming in because we have the different educational parts, but the musicians are just one part of it, and Gorjana can speak about that in 2 minutes. One. Okay. So then there are very, very important. We don't really have too many of the live music industry professionals because that's also something to be developed. Incubation or training or VET, or you can call it however you like, is to basically mentor people to get all the knowledge and all the connecting points, and when you speak about it, it sounds much more of a complicated something than if you just practically go there. So what we are also doing as export office, we create like networking session and link professionals and help professionals to explain, okay, that's the reason you do it, and you do it because you have a vision. To get that vision and map it out and create a strategy for yourself that I have a band, I want to get there, that's my vision, these are the people, these are in 5 years, that's what I could do. You're not a sellout if you do that, you just try to make a living. So I think that this is another point that we have to keep in mind. If you do it, you're not a sellout, you're making a job finally. And I will stop here. I suppose that will...
And you will give the microphone to Gorjana, right?
Yeah, so as I was saying before, that basically we are having artists all throughout the year coming to our office and asking for advice. So we are basically working with them and sometimes for them to export them. So Hemi, it's something that will help us, like a tool that we can offer them even more visibility. Why? Because we are connecting with these 9 countries in the region, and they all have their events, they all have their showcases that they can go and play there, so they can be connected they can be exported actually, and they can finally play outside, not in Macedonia, but outside, and see what it's like. They can also get more educated and more they can get specific trainings in what they're interested in, how they can make money at the end from their music and their art. And what we also have the Hemi Award of the, can I say that?
Well, this is a surprise thing, and people are curious. So, yeah.
Well, we have numbers to give. We have numbers to give.
Yeah. So yeah, the Hemi Award of the artist Hemi Award, which will be something that we are going to award, of course, artists. But I don't know if I can say. Doesn't matter. All of these things are going to be offered to the artists, and that would be some kind of an award.
Yeah, and I can add, because we are in the same working group with Gorjana, that actually the point of this award is to find a way how to make a selection, so we will choose artists which will really have proper support. We still don't know, many questions still are there, but in some way we are looking on the way to make a proper support to selected band to see if they can simply make it, or you can add something.
Well, I'll take the numbers as we said, because as Marton said, it's not underdeveloped, it's in development. It's not we don't know, is we want to see where is the best focus we can do, and maybe let's put the 3 topics then together as the one that Marton initiated. So we have some main goals, otherwise you don't win a proposal from the European Union. So in terms of the language, let's say in our own language, what we wanted to do was a theme where we could support music professionals which have companies, small ones, micro-sized, 1 person as most of us, okay? In anything related to the live sector. Let's make it roughly, okay? When you have a project like this, you cannot help everyone, and we thought it's not about help. What can we do? Can we give some money for somebody to go to MENT, to all the showcases? How many showcases do we have? 5, okay. What can we do? So the idea of incubator is that for 3 years, starting with a call that will happen this year in Nouvelle Prague, end of October, we will have the chance to invite 120 companies from booking, management, labels, people who want to create a festival. We will have the opportunity to invite 120 persons to join a team of experts, of professionals, which together will try to make some networking and to help those persons either expand their existing job, either create a project. Okay? I think I don't have to develop more. The idea is this will do 3 phases. The first phases will be those 120 persons. They will be the call every year, starting in 2020. And by January, we'll have chosen those 120 to try and help, and then to filter, because of course, you cannot help 120 companies. We don't have the money of, I don't know who's rich in Slovenia, but of a rich guy anyway. So the second batch would be that actually aiming to do something holistic. Why do I say holistic? Because there are many good ideas already and projects helping companies, either to pitch. So it's that level of knowledge and you want to go there. Either to create a business plan, either to get contacts. So what we want for those 120 is to find 30 and really support them in kind, meaning offering promotions, communication, traveling, etc., etc., etc. And from those 30, a third batch, the last one, will win the Hemi Innovation Award. We can tell the name, which we haven't decided yet all the details. So you excuse us, you'll stay in tune, and you will soon get more. The second part is music. You want to say the details for music? How do we plan all this with the 360 part, the music award?
Do you think it's the proper time to discuss it?
Yes, I think we can say the names now. I mean, at least the idea of the calls. So
I can give you a word.
Okay. Okay. So yes, as you understand, we did a cluster. So we have conferences, but we have also festivals. Most of the companies here are producing many festivals per year, and it's not one single kind of festival. There are festivals in castles, festivals in public space, festivals in small venues in the winter, and big venues in the winter. We have a partner called Exit. Maybe you know it's a festival in Novi Sad. We have many partners. So again, we thought, what can we do for musicians and for bands? We have all the people working with export offices. We're trying for years to send bands to the Occidental festivals. So we said, okay, let's try to circulate musicians, first of all, also between us. How come we don't have Slovenian bands in Serbia? How come we don't have Hungarian bands in Greece? How come? So we will more or less network, bridge from small venues in the winter till big festivals in the summer. We will connect this again with a kind of export path for professionalization and internationalization of musicians. There will be a call also for that. There will be a selection. And we have an idea to try and again continue with those bands, not only by bringing them to a festival, but to make a kind of friendly agreement and continue with them by trading those artists, if possible, connecting them with others. That's the number we don't know. We know it could be from 70 bands to 50 bands during 3 years, more or less. And that's it for the musicians, I think. Do I forgive?
Yes, Maja, please.
Yeah,
Would you
I
to say
think when we'll wrap it up and sum it up, it's all about the philosophy of the project and who is Hemi for. So I think the short notice is it's professionals of the music market for the professionals of the music market. So we've got 3 pillars. It's educational, export, and networking. And we're planning to do it on different levels. So first of all, we're trying to educate each other between our organization, between our festivals, between our conferences to move our knowledge to the other parts of the world of the CSIE region. And this is the first level. And on the second level is when we'll be big enough in our region, between our partners and between our countries, then we'll go to the east, to the west. So we will show them that we're also big, we can do it much more better than them, and we're really good at what we're doing.
And we want to go to the moon after.
Yes.
I think it's important to look at the numbers, just quick, really short sum up of this. The 10 partners, 9 countries, 110 million people. If you look from Estonia to Greece, there are 150 million people inhabitant area of music market that actually not really developed in terms of there's no internal circulation. The other point I just wanted to add that it's kind of a multilateral network, because you know all the horizontal networks of showcase festivals, networks of managers, and so on. The point is to link these steps from the beginning till the end. So we have the possibility to educate, and we have the possibility to already link the ones that are already active. By this, it creates a market that is really visible for the ones who looked at you, if you're coming from Slovenia and or us, and like, okay, so well, it just doesn't pay to work with you guys because you're so small, so you cannot offer anything. But if we go there as a network, it's absolutely a different story, and it's a different story when you're speaking about X countries that are already having music market initiated. So the point is to boost the internal music market, to help everyone to grow to the level that it actually creates an explosion when we're going outside. And don't imagine it's 1 year, it's not 1 year. The 50-70 band is 4 years, so this has, of course, a proper timeline and a strategy how to build it. So if you look at it at once, it's really threatening and a kind of a mess of ideas, but it's not actually. If it's spread out of 4 years, that's an absolutely different story we are speaking about.
Thank you. So now the question for you, mentals. Sorry, I always call people at mentals. I'm the mental. Hello, I'm Peter, the mental. Would you like to spend another 1 hour discussing Hemi, or you are already thinking about tasting the best Slovenian beer after? Okay, beer. We have time now for some questions, yeah.
Hi. So I'm a music journalist from Serbia, and I'm doing it as a promoter also, so a lot of stuff, doesn't matter. My question for all of you, because I worked with bands from Macedonia, so maybe for Gorjana and for all of you, what can we do to help Hemi and spread the network? Because we brought Bernice Propaganda, we brought Balkan Veliki to smaller towns in Serbia, and they did really good concerts. So now when they make tours, they're coming to much smaller towns because they know there is an audience which is going to come. So me as a music journalist, do you have any use of my information from the field? What can we do? I mean, what can I do for your project, because I like the idea?
Well, you can give us your email and your phone number at the end of the meeting to start with, because we have also a part of Hemi, which is, we call it, don't say it, okay, yet. It's the digital part, where we want to record and make a kind of library of all the conferences, of interviews from Serbians. With maybe we will manage to do also, if it's native language, to make translation. Anyway, the library part is, we have planned at the moment 10 multiplier events. It means that all the partners will meet in 10 partners every year for the next 4 years. You'll see our faces, we'll see your faces, all of us will see faces for the next 4 years in Novi Sad, Ljubljana, Bucharest, Budapest, Prague, Athens, etc., and so on and so on and so on. That's one thing. With the incubator and all this, when we speak about a community, the idea is in fact to exchange news also. So we all agreed to pay real journalists to take events from all of us, but to kind of create a community. Everyone will have to present other partners from each countries. And we want to create a kind of news channel of the music of our countries, because there are so many events. As Marton said, one by one, except for Exit, for example, there are exceptions everywhere, okay? But one by one, it's not enough to compete other countries. Altogether, if we generate a market, so that's the joy we have from EU. If we didn't have the money, we could not do it. Who would dare to do this? Are you crazy? But if you have the money without competing each other, if you give content inside, proper content, you know, from MENT, from Reeperbahn, from Eurosonic, from Tallinn Music Week, there will be a trademarking slowly for all our friends from Western countries. And thus, we thought we need to create a kind of think tank. So we want to bring venues, festival extra to us. With some budget, we have to pay for the expenses, and the idea, except our traveling, is to put, as Marton was saying, people from each country to meet again as well. That's how, you know, slowly. So journalist content is a key point we also want to tackle on the platform, let's say.
Thank you, George. Just to know you guys, we would like to finish like Germans do on time. So it's 9 o'clock, 19 o'clock, sorry, 7. I think we can slowly finish the discussion. Is there any really important question that you have to ask right now?
No questions, because he will kill you.
If not, you are very welcome to give us some inputs. We will be here at MENT, you know our faces, our names.
I think it's just an important point just to make, that the aim of this project is as with musicians or project, to make it self-sustainable. So all the elements of Hemi should go after the program is gone. It should be continued. That's simply, and the answer brainstorm with us, because we are connecting dots still.
Thank you, my lovely team.
You.
Thank you, enjoy MENT.
By the way, MENT will be sponsored by Hemi and partnership with Hemi, thanks to SIGIC, thanks to everyone. So yes, what Marton said, you will have in Slovenia, and hopefully all the countries that are here represented, each of us are representing Hemi. We don't keep it for our organization, just to make it clear. Thank you.
Thank you.